Hi, I'm Kevin, the creator of Etherground Engine, and today we'll take a look on how to get started building an adventure or a text-based story with the Story Editor tools. So we'll go to Story Editor. I'm going to use a new game. I already have one set up here, but I'm going to start fresh. So I'm going to create a new game. I'm going to name it my game. You can name it whatever you want. Choice. This is the description. An emoji if you want. And then I hit open. Here, I'm taken to the scene library where I can see my scenes. Scenes contain nodes, and the flow diagram contains all the nodes that you'll create. So, in main story, which is the main scene, I'm going to create a new node. And we're going to come to the node, that's going to take us to the node editor. I'm going to undock the world data browser because we're not going to use that yet. And just focus on the forms, on the fields of the node editor. Node ID here shows us the identifying number that is used to reference the specific node. A node contains metadata and also the story text that you want to preview on the game. So I'm going to change this to 1 just to not make it 0 based, and I'm gonna make a simple story with just sentences, and just to showcase how you construct a story. The elf bard asks you, do you have a sword? Then we're gonna scroll down and go to branching and choices. I will show you how to use choices for now, and later we'll touch on the other features that we have. So where story goes next. This default branch is the next branch that will happen if if the default path is taken. So if we hit continue in the story, it will take us to this node. But I'm just going to create choice nodes since we're always going to default to specific nodes. I'm going to add a choice. I'm going to put yes. No. Yes. I'm going to put this goes to another ID of the second node that I want, the next node that I want to visit when clicking this option. Sorry. I'm going to put 2. Here's some metadata to organize your project, but I'm not going to use this since it's optional. And I'm going to add another choice. No. Nope. And I'm going to make another unique ID, which is the next node that I need. So I'm going to put 3. So if we click yes, we're going to node 2. If we click nope, we're going to node 3. And then I'm going to add to library, and it's going to say node 1 added to main story, which is the scene, and it auto created 2 placeholder nodes, the one for number 2 and number 3. It fills up the systems, the nodes that we require correctly, and auto fills them. Alright. Now we can see our nodes. This is the entry node. This is the choice for when you click yes and when you're sincere and say nope. So I'm going to show you now the flow diagram. Okay, I'm going to put this hidden so I can watch the nodes. And this is the flow diagram, which helps us visualize our story. So you can drag them. They're color coded. You can edit them with the pencil tool, or you can erase them with the bucket icon. So I'm gonna go to node number 2 just to keep it sequential and on order. So this is what happens when the player clicks yes as an option. The elf bard says you are lying. Here, take this sword. And I'm gonna add a branch. Thanks. Goes to node number 4. And we're gonna add another choice, which is do not know how to use a sword. Number 5. And then add to library. And then we can see it auto updated node 4 and 5. Now I'm gonna go to the node number 3, which is this one, when you are sincere and say nope. And I'm gonna put thanks for being sincere. Here, take my own sword. My sword. And I'm gonna leave it like that for now. Add to library. When player clicks thanks, you welcome, says the bard. We can always train later. And this is gonna be the final node for, I'm not gonna add choices for this one. And then the last one, when you click I do not know how to use a sword, the bard, the elf says, do not worry, I will teach you. Perfect. Add to library. Update. It's gonna update. And there we go. Everything is set up in a perfect flow diagram. No missing nodes. No, everything has a corresponding. You can preview the text here so you know what happens. And now we're gonna play the story. To play the story, I'm gonna go to export, save to storage. This is very important because we need the story to be in local storage so the game can read it, and then I can play story. The elf bard asks you, do you have a sword? I'm gonna say nope. Thanks for being sincere. Here, take my sword. And that's it. This is the end of this branch. Now I'm gonna start again. Do you have a sword? Yes. The elf bard says you are lying. Here, take this sword. You can go to thanks or the other one. It doesn't matter. This is just a preview. And there you go. That's how you create a simple choice-based adventure.